بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وأفضل الصلاة وأتم التسليم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين يا ربنا لك الحمد كما ينبغي لجلال وجهك لعظيم سلطانك سبحانك لا أحصي ثناء عليك أنت كما أثنيت على نفسك اللهم إني أتجرد من حولي وقوتي وعلمي إلى حولك وقوتك وعلمك يا ذا القوة المتين. So brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Happy to be among you, and about the subject today about the Ottoman or Al-Uthmaniyun. This Ottoman, I don't understand why they changed Al-Uthmaniyun to be Ottoman. Uthmaniyun, it is related to their great grandfather, his name Uthman. And when we were young, we assume, or we used to think that they were the descendant of Uthman ibn Affan radiallahu anhu. But later on we found out that one of their leaders, his name Uthman, so they are Al-Uthmaniyun. But Allahu Alam, for English purpose, they change this Uthman and become Ottoman. Before I teach Islamic history, brothers and sisters, and usually when we talk about history, especially the Islamic history, we talk we teach people about the Seerah of the Prophet, Seerah, the life of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So people, they are okay, they are familiar with the Seerah of the Prophet. When he said after the death of the Prophet we have Khilafah Rashida, 4 rightly Khulafa, they ruled the Muslim after the death of the Prophet. Again, maybe some Muslims, they are aware about what do we mean by Khilafah Rashida. So they said, okay, we know after the death of the Prophet we have Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, Ali, who ruled the Muslims. Some of them, that's it, this is the end of their information or knowledge about Islam. But we said, look, after the death or the end of Al-Khulafa Rashidun, we have the Umayyad. So the Umayyad, again, they ruled Muslim for more than 90 years. And in the time of the Umayyad, they conquered massive land, for example, India and East Asia, and they went to Al-Andalus. They conquered Al-Andalus. So maybe some of them, they might remember something about the Umayyad, and some they won't. But when we mention Al-Andalus or even India, it was conquered at the time of the Umayyad, Muhammad Al-Qasim Al-Thaqafi, the one who conquered India or part of India. So they they will try to find the link. Later on we said, okay, after the Umayyad we have Al-Abbasiyun, the Abbasis. Okay, and they ruled the Muslim for too many years, and among them, for example, Harun al-Rashid. So maybe people, they know what does it mean, Harun al-Rashid, who is Harun al-Rashid. So again, they can make a link. And after that, when the Tatar or the Mughal, they came to Baghdad, they destroyed the Abbasi Khilafah, and after that Al-Khilafah, or the Khulafa or the Khalif, they went and they lived in Cairo. Till at this point, maybe for some people everything is clear, but after that they don't know. They said, okay, what's happened after? Nobody knows. And when we talk about the Ottoman, they said, look, after the Abbasi, we have special people, we have great people. They came from the middle of Asia and they ruled Muslim, and we call them Al-Uthmaniyun or the Ottoman. People, they said, who are the Ottoman? We are not familiar with these names. Can you tell us about some of them? So we might mention Muhammad Al-Fatih, Sultan Muhammad Al-Fatih, Muhammad the Conqueror. And some people, they said, it might ring a bell on it or not. And sometimes we said, look, brothers, sisters, go to Turkey, go to Istanbul, see the city, see the history. This is Islamic history. This is not Turkish history. This is not Ottoman history. It is Islamic history. You are Muslim, you are part of this history. Like you go, for example, to Mecca and Medina, like you go to, for example, Al-Andalus, Spain, and you see the palaces there, Al-Hamra Palace, for example. Go to Turkey and find about the Islamic history. But for whatever reason, a lot of brothers, a lot of sisters, they don't want to go further. Till this drama happened, Ertuğrul. When it is happened, subhanallah, too many questions, many people, they came and they said, yeah, can you tell us about this, this man Ertuğrul, what is his story, where he come from, what's going on, what's happened next? Yeah, we are dying to know what's happened. Already we were watching, this series, the first one, the second, the third, now I think, the fourth, Allahu Akbar. What's happened later on, what's happened? Can you tell us more? And furthermore, because, alhamdulillah, we have, we can call it Islamic government in Turkey, Erdogan and his party. This man, he did a lot of things. First of all, Turkey, before Erdogan, they want to become part of Europe. They want to forget about their Islamic history. They want to forget about anything related to their past, and they want to concentrate on Europe. They want to become part of European Union. And the European Union, they asked them to do a lot of things. You need to forget about this, you need to forget about that, and a lot of stuff it is related to Islam. Now, when Erdogan and his party came to power, he said, look, forget about Europe. We don't need Europe. We are Muslim. And instead to open our hands to Europe, we will open our hands toward the Muslim, the other side. So let's open our country and our hand and our history for the Muslim all over the world. And alhamdulillah, many Muslims, they start to come to Turkey. For example, from Syria, from the Middle East, from Pakistan, from Bangladesh, from too many countries, they realized or they found out we have a great civilization, Islamic civilization, which is not far away from us in Turkey. So let's go and visit, this country. And after that, we have, this, halal, for example, tourism. Some people who used to come to Europe to spend, for example, summertime, and they are practicing, but they want, to do some holiday. But when they come to Europe, in summertime, what is, the environment there? So they found out they have alternative. They said, instead to go to Europe, let's go to Turkey. Because Turkey, as a history, we have, Islamic side, we have a lot of Muslim, even the view, it is so beautiful. If you want to visit any places, if you want to visit any city, all the time, there is Islam, there is adhan, there is something remind you about Islam. It is not really just European. And again, if you want, for example, to have some European tastes, such as if you want to go to McDonald's, if you want to go to KFC, you will see everything there in Turkey, especially in Istanbul. Okay, so alhamdulillah, we have a lot of changing happen, and now too many people, I know too many brothers and sisters from here, from Britain, they start to go and do tourists in Turkey. And every time some people, they say, I've been to Turkey, I've been to Istanbul, I saw so and so. I've been to Ankara and I saw so and so. I've been to this place, I've been to this place. So we say, alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. This is a very good sign, okay, to find out more about the hidden or the unknown, Muslim and Islamic country, which alhamdulillah is start to come back to Islam. And they are winning. The Ottoman or the Turkish people, when they open their heart and their hand for the Muslim, alhamdulillah, they benefit. A lot of Muslims, they said we want to go there, we want to buy houses, we want to establish some business. Maybe later on I might take my family and settle in Turkey because I like it, I like the city, I like the country, especially Istanbul, especially there is some area in Istanbul like Al-Fatih area or the Blue Mosque and Hagia Sophia. All these, it is very Islamic and very conservative. So now, inshallah, I just want to give you an idea about Al-Uthmaniyun. Who are Al-Uthmaniyun? We don't want you to keep you at just Ertuğrul. Everybody say Ertuğrul, and there is nothing else after it. And even for myself, when people they said, have you seen Ertuğrul? I said, okay, let me have a look at it. Now I assume that this drama, it will take us through the whole history of the Ottoman. They start with Ertuğrul, and after that they will go to his son Osman. Then, they will talk about, the Sultanate when they established the state. And after that, what's happened, how, the different Sultan or the different ruler, they came, till they end with, the last Sultan. But for my surprise, it stayed, with Ertuğrul. So I said, okay, maybe next, the next episode they will do something, but they stay with Ertuğrul, and it looks like they will just concentrate on Ertuğrul and they don't want to go further. Yeah. So inshallah, I will just explain to you a little bit about the Ottoman, the history of the Ottoman, and what's happened after Ertuğrul. Maybe later on, if they want to make another drama about some khulafa or some sultan, alhamdulillah, you will be aware about them. The Turks or the Ottoman, originally they are from Turkestan, the middle of Asia. In the middle of Asia, you are from maybe Pakistan or Bangladesh. All these countries, the name of them is finished with stan, and the stan meaning land. So it is like Pakistan, Hindustan, whatever is stan, and we have massive area is called Turkestan. So Turkestan meaning the land of Turk. So they are a nation. They are people. They have certain features. They have certain images. And they used to live in the center of Asia, and mainly majority of them were Bedouin. It is tribes. Okay, they move from one area to another area. They try to find some grasses, some water, and whenever there is a water, they will stay there in this area, and they live basic life. Later on, when Islam came, managed to conquer this land, Turkestan, and many of the Turks, they accepted Islam. Yeah, alhamdulillah, majority of them, they accepted Islam, and after that, later on the time of the Abbasi, they become very important, and they establish different imara. They established different imara in Baghdad, in Syria, and they established one imara in Al-Anadol. Anadol, what we call it nowadays, Turkey, the Asian part of it. Yeah, so they have, we call them as-Salajiqa. If you heard about Seljukis. Are you familiar with Seljukis family? So this is, originally they are Turks. So this is about the Turks in general. About the Ottoman, originally they were from Turkestan. But a long time ago they moved and they settled in Kurdistan. They settled in Kurdistan in Iraq. And as we said, they were basic tribe, smaller tribe, about maybe 100 family only, and they said among them it was only 400 fighters. So this is the full army of the Ottoman. And their leader, his name Suleiman. Okay, and after that, the Tatar or the Mughal, they put a lot of pressure on all the tribe in this area. So they decided to migrate from Kurdistan on the north of Iraq, to come to the north of Syria, and after that go to what we call it nowadays Turkey. In the way, during their journey, their leader Suleiman, he died in the way, and he left his son Ertuğrul. So Ertuğrul, he became the leader of this tribe, and again he was looking for a place to settle, till he found that two armies are meeting together. One, it is Muslim army, Salajiqa, the Seljukis, and the other one, it was a Roman army. They were fighting against each other. And because he's Muslim, he decided to go the side of the Muslims. So he went and he joined the Muslim side, and after that, they won the battle. Now the Emir or the governor, the Muslim governor of this land, he was so happy about what's happened, and he decided to give Ertuğrul a place to rule. Let's say a small land. He said, you can rule in this place. And because you are, mashallah, a great mujahid, he gave him a title. We call it Al-Ghazi. Al-Ghazi, the great fighter. And he allowed him to do jihad against the Roman. And this is how small imara it was established, and it's called the Turks imara. After the death of Ertuğrul, his son Osman became in power. And we have a beautiful story about his son Osman. The scholar, they talk about it. They said this man, he was very humble, and he used to have his own shuyukh. Okay, all by the way, the Ottoman Sultan, all the Ottoman Khulafa, they used to have their own shuyukh, their own scholars, and the scholars they give them a lot of knowledge. They give them motivation to go and conquer and build and do these magnificent civilization. So one day Uthman, he went and visited his sheikh, and after that the sheikh he asked him to stay, to spend the night in his room. So Uthman he agreed, and he gave him like a blanket, and he said, okay, you can sit here or you can sleep here. Now Uthman he was looking around, and after that he found Al-Quran. He found Al-Quran inside, or Al-Mus'haf inside his room. So out of the respect of Al-Quran, he couldn't put his feet towards any direction. So he said, look, Mus'haf is here. Out of respect, I cannot really put my legs here or sleep, and while Al-Quran it is on the other direction. So he decided to stand as a respect of Al-Quran and not to sleep. So he spent the whole night just sitting, showing respect to Al-Quran Al-Karim. Later on, after a while, Uthman he saw a dream. Beautiful dream that, the dream that something came from the sheikh, his sheikh, and came to him, and after that, massive tree grow, and it went all over the places. So he told his sheikh about his dream. So he said, look, my son, it looks like Allah Azza wa Jal will give you and will give your children and your grandchildren beautiful future, and it looks like you will serve the deen, and the way how you will have that, you will have a big family, and it looks like you will be related to me. So the sheikh, he said, look, I have a daughter, marry my daughter, and inshallah from this family we will have a lot of blessing, children and grandchildren. So Uthman, he gets married to the daughter of his sheikh, and after that becomes Sultan. Sultan, it is like you say king or governor. So he becomes Sultan, his imara or his land become bigger. He managed to do a lot of jihad against the Roman. The other Muslims were happy with him, so they start joining him, and after that he started to expand his imara. Till he died. After he made proper army, concentrate about jihad, building the mosque, serving Islam, establishing Allah Azza wa Jal rules. After the death of Uthman, we have his son who came to power. His name Orkhan, son of Uthman, and this man he made, we call it the flag for the Ottoman. Now, if I ask you what is the flag of the Ottoman nowadays? So what is the flag of the Turkish flag?
Crescent and the star.
Crescent. Okay, so we have crescent. The crescent, it is the logo of the Muslim, because we Muslim we rely on the moon, lunar system. Okay, so Muslim they took the crescent as their logo. So he put flag red, and he put the crescent, and this is with it there is a sword referring to the jihad. The sword of the Prophet ﷺ is called Dhul-Fiqar. And again, he continued the mission of his father, and he was very practicing. So there is a lot of good things mentioned about him. After him, his son came to power. His name Murad Al-Awwal, Murad, the first. And he managed to expand, his imara, till they said the size of it, it's become like 500,000 kilometers square. So it's become massive imara in his time. After that we have Sultan, his son Sultan Bayezid the first. He managed to go to Europe. Mainly they were in Asia, and after that they managed to cross. They went to European side, and they start conquer part of Europe, such as Bulgaria. And he tried to open Al-Qustantiniya. Constantinople, or the Constantinopolis, it was the most and the strongest city in the whole world. The location of it is something amazing. It is the only city, part of it in Asia and part of it in Europe. And if you control it, you may control the whole world. Again, it is based on two seas. The first sea is called Al-Bahr Al-Aswad, the Black Sea, and the other one is called Bahr Marmara, Marmara Sea, and there is Madiq, there is a phosphor. Again, you can control half of the wood if you control these phosphor. And not far away, we have Asia Sea, and not far away we have the Mediterranean Sea. So the place of Al-Qastantiniya, it was very unique, very important. And already the Prophet ﷺ, he said long time ago, لَتُفْتَحَنَّ لَكُمُ الْقَسْطَنْطِينِيَّةِ. One day the Qastantiniya, it will be conquered for you. قال فَلَنِعْمَ الْأَمِيرُ أَمِيرُهَا. The Amir who will conquer Al-Qastantiniya, he will be the best Amir. قال وَلَنِعْمَ الْجَيْشُ جَيْشُهَا. And the army who will conquer Al-Qastantiniya, he will be the best army. So from the beginning, the Ottomans, they have this vision to conquer Al-Qastantiniya. And they try. All the time they try, but it was extremely strong. After Bayezid the first, we have another Sultan, his name Muhammad, or Muhammad Jalabi. He was again hero, and he expanded the empire more and more. Then we have Sultan Murad II, and after that we have this magnificent Sultan, his name Muhammad Al-Fatih. Muhammad Al-Fatih, his name is Muhammad Khan or Muhammad Al-Thani. And subhanallah, this young man, from young age, he was given to two great shuyukh to teach him, to inspire the Islamic idea to him. One of his sheikh, his name Shamsuddin. So Shamsuddin, he was a great scholar. He is Hanafi. He studied in Egypt. He studied in Syria. And after that, he came and he became the mu'addib, the teacher of Muhammad Al-Fatih. And from young age, the teacher, he will say to him, he said, look, Muhammad, you are the one which Messenger of Allah talked about him, that you will conquer Al-Qastantiniya. So get ready for it. You are not young. And imagine someone at the age of 12 or 13, his sheikh will say to him, he said, you will conquer Al-Qastantiniya. You will conquer Al-Qastantiniya. When you grow up, when you become at the age of become Sultan, you will conquer Al-Qastantiniya. So later on, Muhammad Al-Fatih became the Sultan. And after that, he decided, to conquer Al-Qastantiniya. And he managed to do it after long preparation. SubhanAllah, if you want to go and study the details, the preparation, how they managed to prepare to conquer Al-Qastantiniya is something amazing. And after around 2 months, he managed to conquer Al-Qastantiniya. And one of the things, he did it, something amazing. He wanted to bring, the ships from over the mountain. He brought, the ships from over the mountain to something is called Khalij, or the Golden Horn. If you heard about it, the Golden Horn. So he took the ships all the way from the mountain and brought it down and put it in the Golden Horn till he managed after to conquer Al-Qastantiniya. So when he conquered Al-Qastantiniya, this was one of the magnificent things happened in the history of Islam. He made Al-Qastantiniya at the capital of the Muslim, or the capital of the Ottoman, and he changed the name of it. Al-Qastantiniya, Constantinopolis, so he changed it to, and he called it Madinatul Islam. What does it mean, Madinatul Islam? Islam, pool. Yeah? Later on, people, they changed the name and it's become Istanbul. But it is never ever was Istanbul, it was Islam, pool, Madinatul Islam. And after that, we have, this church, Hagia Sophia. So he took it and he made it, changed it to be a mosque, massive mosque. And he was very just. And again, he was, great mujahid. And now if you go to Turkey, there is area, it's called Fatih area, or Fatih. And he's got a mosque, or he built the mosque, his own mosque. And subhanAllah, before every salah, the muazzin, he will say make dua, for the Prophet ﷺ, for Bilal al-Habashi, and after that he mentioned Sultan Muhammad Al-Fatih, and he said Muhammad Khan Abu al-Khayrat Abu al-Futuh Sultan Muhammad Al-Fatih. Make dua and pray Fatiha. So people, they pray Fatiha, and just outside the mosque there is, his maqam. Like, this is, their grave, and people, they visit his grave till now. Recently, I've been to Turkey, and I've been to his grave, and we recite Surah Al-Fatiha on his soul, rahimahullah. So this is, Muhammad Al-Fatih, the famous one. But Muhammad Al-Fatih, he was the seventh sultan among the Ottoman. It is not the end of the story. After that, we have Sultan Bayezid Al-Thani. Bayezid, the second. He tried to help Muslim in Al-Andalus. At that time, the Spanish, they put a lot of pressure on the Muslim in Al-Andalus, and they sacked majority of them. And those Muslims who stayed in Al-Andalus, they tortured them so badly to make them change their deen and to become Christian. After Sultan Bayezid, we have Sultan Salim al-Awwal, Salim the first. Salim the first, he became the Khalifa. So here, before it was only Sultan. But Salim the first, he became the Khalifa, and now we have Khilafah, it's called Al-Khilafah Al-Osmaniyya. Before, as I told you, we have Al-Khilafah Rashida, we have Al-Khilafah Al-Umayyah, Al-Khilafah Al-Abbasiyya. Now we have Al-Khilafah Al-Osmaniyya, and the first Khalifa, it was Salim al-Awwal. Because, the Abbasi, after Baghdad were attacked by the Mughal, they went to Cairo. They stayed in the Cairo. And later on, the last Abbasi Khalifa, he stepped down from Al-Khilafah, and Salim al-Awwal became the official Khalifa for all the Muslims. So we have, Sultan Salim al-Awwal, or Amir al-Mu'mineen, and after that, we have, his son Sulaiman al-Qanuni. Sulaiman al-Qanuni, they call it in English Sulaiman the Magnificent, or they call him Sulaiman the legislator. We call him in Arabic Sulaiman al-Qanuni because he managed to make the law. So he put the Islamic Sharia in a law, make it as a law, so it will be easy for people to implement it. It will be easy for people to understand it and apply it. And this it was the best time for the Ottoman. From Salim al-Awwal and Sulaiman al-Qanuni, this is they call it the golden era for the Ottoman. After that, the Ottoman, they start to become a little bit weaker. So we have, few sultans, they came to power, such as we have, Sultan Salim al-Thani, Sultan Salim the second. And after that, we have Sultan Murad the third. By the way, in Turkey, they call it Murad. They don't say Murad. For some reason, they change a dal to be ta. And even when they say Ahmad, they don't say Ahmad properly, they say Ahmad. And even when they say Muhammad, they change dal to be ta. They say Muhammad, Mahmud, Muhmmad, something like that. I don't understand why. Okay, but they have Sultan Murad al-Thalith. And those sultans, even they went to Europe, they start conquer. They start to conquer Poland. They went to Kosovo. They went to Albania, so they conquered Albania. They went to Al-Bosna wal-Herzeg, the Bosnia and Herzegovina. So they conquered the country there, and many people, they accepted Islam. Even if you go now to Albania or to go to Bosnia, you will see a lot of Turkish side or Ottoman side. We have, after that, we have Sultan Muhammad Khan al-Thalith, Muhammad Khan the third. And then we have, Sultan Ahmad al-Awwal, Ahmad the first. Sultan Ahmad, he's the one who built nowadays, or before, he's the one who built, mosque. We call it, the Blue Mosque. For those brothers and sisters who went to Turkey, they know, what I'm talking about. The Blue Mosque, or it's called Sultan Ahmad Mosque. This mosque not far away from Hagia Sophia. Hagia Sophia, it was a church, and after that, Muhammad Al-Fatih, he changed it to be a mosque, and stayed as a mosque for a long time, till nowadays it changed to be a museum. Maybe some of you again enter inside it and look around and saw what was inside it. So we have Sultan Ahmad the first, and after that we have some weak sultan comparing to the previous sultan. So we have some names such as Mustafa the first, Uthman the second, Murad the fourth, Ibrahim, Muhammad the fourth, Sulaiman Khan the second, Ahmad II, Mustafa II, Ahmad III, Mahmud I, Uthman III, Mustafa III, Abdul Hamid I, Salim III, Mahmud II, Abdul Majid I, Abdul Aziz, Murad V, till we have, Abdul Hamid II. So we have, Sultan Abdul Hamid. But we need to understand that at that time, because, the Ottoman, they were, the Islamic state, like, they were fighting for the sake of Islam. The Christian Europeans weren't happy about that. So they have, like, too many agreement against the Ottoman. And they have too many conspiracy against the Ottoman. So they declare war against the Ottoman too many times with Russia. Because, Russian, they were let's say, the leader of the Orthodox or the Christian, the Eastern Christian. And, in Europe, especially in Italy, we have, the leader of the Western Christian, or they call them the Roman Christian or the Catholic. So the Ottoman, they were under a lot of pressure from both sides, and unfortunately they were under pressure from some, we call it, nationalistic movement. Like, in Arab country, unfortunately, some people, they start calling for Arabism. They said, we are Arab, why those, Turks, they want to take us, to occupy us. So they start to make movement against, the Ottoman. Plus, even like, British and the French, they try to support this movement based on, I would say, nationalism. And they said, look, you are Arab, you are very special, don't allow the Turks to control you. So we have, some movement against the Ottoman. Sultan Abdul Hamid II, rahimahullah, he tried to do something about it. He tried to save, the Ottoman and the empire, and to save the state, and to save the Muslim. So he started calling for what we call it Al-Jami'ah Al-Islamiyah, the Islamic League, the Islamic League. Okay, and the idea is, like, all the Muslims, they need to understand that we are one ummah. We need to come together. We need to be united. And he spread, like, this idea, but subhanallah, the conspiracy, it was stronger than him. And Abdul Hamid II, he did something amazing. At that time, the Jews, they want to establish what you call it national homeland in Palestine. So they came to Sultan Abdul Hamid and they give him something amazing. They give him, like, billions and billions in nowadays language. They give him billions, to him, to the state, to, like, even to him personally, and to allow the Jews to go and take Palestine. But Sultan Abdul Hamid, he said, look, Palestine is not belongs to me. It is not belongs to my family. It belongs to all the Muslims. It is better for me to cut me in pieces rather to take Palestine from the Muslim. So he refused, this offer, and the Zionism, they try, but he refused badly. And subhanallah, after some time, he was removed from, Al-Khilafah or from Al-Sultanah, and it was replaced by someone who is very weak. And after that, we have too many movements. Unfortunately, this movement is secular movement. They become more nationalistic. And we have someone, his name Mustafa Kemal. Maybe you heard about him. Maybe you see his picture on the money, because now all the Turkish money, it has his own picture, Mustafa Kemal. They call him Ataturk. Ataturk meaning the father of the Turks. We don't like, to use this word. So his name Mustafa Kemal. Originally, his background is like very bad, very corrupt, and he was planning to demolish Al-Khilafah Al-Uthmaniyah. So he cooperated with the enemy of Islam till it was 1924. So he declared that Turkey is no more Ottoman, they are no more like Muslim, they are no more Islamic state, and he tried to fight Islam by himself. So he closed too many schools. Even the adhan, imagine the adhan, he said no more adhan in Arabic, it should be in Turkish. The Turk, they used to write their alphabet in Arabic, so he changed it to be Latin. Okay, so originally, the Turkish language, They used to write it in the Arabic letters, but he said no more Arabic. We don't want anything to remind us about Islam and the Arabic language and about Al-Quran. So he changed the alphabet to be Latin. And we saw some films or some document about him. He used to go to the street by himself and stop the people and give them something written in Latin. And he said, read it. If he can read it, he will be okay. If not, he will be sent to the prison. He forbid al-hijab. He said, no more hijab. We are secular. Hijab is something very bad. It will take us backward. So forget about al-hijab. So he attacked, the concept of al-hijab so badly. And we have, unfortunately, in Turkey, some people who were affected by his culture. We call them the secular, or we call them, al-kamaliyun, who really they hate Islam and they are against Islam. And officially, he stopped all the Khilafah on 1924. And he declared, Turkey is secular country, they are not related to Islam. So this is quickly, the history of the Ottoman. And the situation, it was so bad. For a long time it was so bad, till recently some prime minister who came to power, such as Adnan Menderes, he tried to remind people about their background, that we are Ottoman, we are Muslim, we need to go back to our origin. And after some time we have another very good brother, his name Najmuddin Arbakan. Maybe some of you heard the name, maybe you are not familiar with it. So he established a party, it's called Hizb al-Rafa. Again, he tried to do something, alhamdulillah, so he put some seed. And later on, when this party, they call it al-Adala wa Tadmiya, the party of justice, I don't know what you call it in English. So Ertuğrul, when he came to power, alhamdulillah, he managed to do a lot of changing, and he managed to remind the people about their origin, that we are Ottoman, we are Muslim, we were the leader of the Muslim all over the world, and if we want to have our dignity again, we need to go back to Islam. And from time to time, he will give some talk, remind us about the Seerah of the Prophet, tell us about the importance of Islam, tell the people we are Muslim, we need to be proud of being Muslim, not to feel shame of being Muslim. So alhamdulillah, may Allah help him, may Allah support him, and may Allah again give more people, they will follow his way and make Turkey go back to, we said, the origin of it, which is Islam. So every time we make dua for the Turkey as a country, to continue as Islamic, as Muslim, open more school, revive al-Islam, and inshallah, hopefully we have some disaster happen to the Muslim here and there. Again, we have something good happen to the Muslim, and the best thing happened to the Muslim nowadays is from Turkey. So this is just quick, if you want to say, quick hotspot on the history of the Ottoman. Hopefully one day, if you decide to study more about the Ottoman, so now you will be familiar. And just to know that Ottoman, it is not Ertuğrul, it will start and end with Ertuğrul. It is something more. Ertuğrul, he was, we said, the beginning of this magnificent history, but they should do more. If I am in this in charge of this drama, I will concentrate more about, for example, his son Osman, because Osman, he was a hero, and he is the one which we call it the Ottoman, they attribute themselves to him. But alhamdulillah, hopefully, I assume this is only the beginning. Maybe later on when they have another drama, you will call me and you said, can you tell us about Orkhan, for example, or can you tell us more about Muhammad Al-Fatih or Abdul Hamid II, or other those great sultans. So inshallah, it is good for us as a Muslim again to see those heroes and learn a lesson from them. وأقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله العظيم لي ولكم فاستغفروه فيا فوز المستغفرين والحمد لله رب العالمين.